Hi friends, in today's video we can see about semiconductor physics. This is the first topic in the EDC syllabus, electron driven circuits. In the first topic we have that energy band. Okay, in the topic first of all we should see about the semiconductor physics. Okay, actually, in the semiconductor physics, we will be seeing about types of semiconductors: intrinsic, extrinsic semiconductor, then p-n junction diode, then energy band diagram. Then we can see about the Fermi-Dirac distribution, mass action law. These are some of the important concepts they are frequently asking in the examination. So we need to know about the what is the formula used and the different types of formula that are used for solving these types of statement questions. Okay, actually this is a basic for EDC, so we need to get us some strong concept regarding this, then only we can able to learn about the upcoming diodes and then rectifiers or what are the devices that we going to study. Okay, first of all we can see about what are semiconductors and what are connectors and what are insulators. Okay, the materials which have conductivities lower than those of connectors and much higher than those of insulators is called semiconductors. Okay, semiconductors is nothing but partially conducting. Okay, the semiconductor another meaning we can say that it is a partially conducting. Okay, that is the materials have conductivities lower than those of connectors and much higher than of insulators is called semiconductors. Okay, for semiconductor, resistivity will be 10 power minus 4 to 0.5 ohm meter. Okay, this is one important range for semiconductor. Resistivity will be 10 power minus 4 to 0.5 ohm meter. Okay, conductors and insulators can be 10 power minus 8 to ohm meter to 10 power 12 ohm meter, 10 power minus 8 ohm meter to 10 power 12 ohm meter. Okay, okay, resistance of semiconductor decreases with the increase in temperature. This is one of the important concept. When R increases, temperature T decreases. They are inversely proportional. Okay, that is resistance of semiconductor decreases with the increases in temperature. Okay, then temperature coefficient of resistance of semiconductor will be negative, which is that is the temperature coefficient of resistance of semiconductor is always negative. Semiconductor, then the important concept is that semiconductors behave as a insulators at very low temperature and behaves as a conductors at a very high temperature. We need to note that at very low temperature semiconductors will be behave as a insulators, and at a high temperature it will be as a act as a conductors. Okay, okay, then the important concept is that when the impurities are added to the semiconductor, then the resistivity of semiconductor changes. Please note that when we are adding some impurities to the semiconductor, then the resistivity of a semiconductor generally it changes its resistivity. Okay, well, then what are all the impurities that are added to semiconductor? Maybe the impurities can be arsenic, antimony, gallium, indium, and so on. Okay, these are some of the impurities that is added to the pure semiconductor crystal. In that particularly, germanium and silicon are two best known widely used semiconductors. Okay, germanium and silicon are two best known widely used semiconductors. Okay, elemental semiconductors may be silicon and germanium. Okay, silicon and germanium are the elemental semiconductors, and then compound semiconductors may be aluminum phosphide, aluminum arsenide, gallium phosphide, gallium arsenide, indium phosphide. Okay, then silicon is used in manufacture of ferrosilicon. Germanium is used for making semiconductor devices. Okay, silicon is used for the manufacture of ferrosilicon. Germanium is used for making semiconductor devices. Okay, then we can see about the energy band structure. These are some of the basic concept. What is a semiconductor? What are its types? Then how semiconductor behaves? And then what are elemental semiconductors? And what are compound semiconductors? And what are the types? Okay, particularly silicon is used in the manufacture of ferrosilicon, and then germanium is used in the manufacture making of semiconductor devices. Okay, next we can see about the important concept, that is energy band structure. Okay, energy band is nothing but the valence band and conduction band separated by the energy gap termed as a forbidden energy gap. Okay, that is the in the area between the conduction band and valence band is said to be a forbidden energy gap. We all everyone knows that this is termed as a forbidden energy gap, and the forbidden energy gap which can be given for different uh, semiconductor material, different materials. For insulators, that EG energy gap, forbidden energy gap will be greater than 5 electron volt. We need to note that for insulator, energy gap, forbidden gap will be 5 electron volt, and then for semiconductor will be 1 electron volt, and for conductors there will be no any forbidden energy gap. Okay, for insulators energy gap will be greater than 5 electron volt, and for semiconductor energy gap will be 1 electron volt, and for conductors there will be no forbidden energy gap. Okay, insulators are insulators at absolute zero temperature. Insulators, please you need to know that insulator behaves as a zero at absolute zero temperature. Okay, semiconductors capable of conducting current even at a normal ambient temperature. Okay, semiconductors, we know that from the name itself we should know that it is a partially conducting material. Okay, then when we are giving some of the normal temperature itself, it cannot be any high temperature, any other temperature. Under normal ambient temperature itself, a semiconductor is capable of conducting some current. Okay, electrons that in the conduction band is said to be free electrons. Okay, electrons that is present in the conduction band is said to be free electrons. Okay, then we can see about the diffusion and drift current. Okay, first of all we can see about what is drift. Drift is, which is the movement caused by electric fields. Drift is the movement caused by electric fields, and diffusion can be stated as flow caused by variations in the concentration, that is a combination of gradients. Okay, diffusion is the flow caused by variation in the concentration, that is concentration gradients. Okay, then the drift current can be V is directly proportional to E, or V is equal to mu E into E. Okay, that is V is directly proportional to E, then it can be expressed as V is equal to mu E into E. Okay, mu E is the electron mobility expressed in m square plus Vs. Okay, mu is the electron mobility expressed in m square plus Vs. Okay, and diffusion current occurs. Here we saw about what is drift and diffusion. Okay, drift is nothing but a movement caused by electric field is stated as a drift, and then diffusion is nothing but the variation in concentration gradients. Okay, variation concentration is said to be diffusion, and the movement caused by electric field is said to be drift. Okay, then we saw about what is drift current. V is direct proportional to E, that is V is equal to mu A into E. Then we can see about diffusion current. Diffusion current can be stated by occurs when charge carriers diffuse from a point of concentration to spread uniformly throughout the volume of piece of material. Okay, diffusion current can be stated that charge carriers diffuse from one point of concentration to spread uniformly throughout the piece of material. This is said to be diffusion. Okay, that is nothing but from one point of concentration the charge carriers will be flow throughout the volume of any material, throughout the volume of any piece of material. This is said to be diffusion current. This diagram is indication of flow of particles from one point of concentration to the other part, that is other part of a piece of material. Okay, then we can see about the important concept Fermi-Dirac probability function, that is Fermi-Dirac function. The statement, the equation for Fermi-Dirac is dNE is equal to rho E into dE. It can be stated as the number of electrons per cubic meter of a metal whose energies lie in the interval E to E plus dE is given as dNE equal to rho E dE. Here dNE represents the number of free electrons. Please note that dNE is the number of free electrons. Energy lies in the energy interval dE and rho E. and then rho e represents the density of electron. Okay, rho e represents density of electron in the energy interval dE. Then the other statement that regarding Fermi-Dirac function is that density of state, that is n of e, is proportional to the half power of energy. That is n of e is directly proportional to e power 1 by 2. Okay, n of e is equal to gamma e power 1 by 2. Okay, n of e is equal to gamma e power 1 by 2. Fermi-Dirac probability function is given as f of e equal to 1 divided by 1 plus e power e minus ef by kt. We know that k is the Boltzmann constant, which is k is equal to 8.624 into 10 power minus 5 electron volt per Kelvin. This is the Fermi-Dirac probability function. And then we know that what is Fermi-Dirac function. Okay, there are two equations, which is dne equal to rho e dE, and then n of e is direct proportional to e power 1 by 2, which is equal to gamma e power 1 by 2. Gamma is a constant value here. Okay, in this first part we saw about what is semiconductor, what are types of semiconductor, then the energy band structure of semiconductor, and what is the forbidden energy gap, and what are the values of different forbidden energy gap for insulators, semiconductors and conductors. And then we saw about what is drift and what is diffusion, and then what is diffusion current, and then we saw about what is Fermi-Dirac function. Okay, in the next video we can see about the classification of semiconductor, which is intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, thank you.